Okay, so now that my first draft is done, it is time to really start diving into preparing for my next project. And that is going to involve a lot of research, a lot of guide building, and a lot of general like world building, outlining, all of that kind of stuff because I'm going super hard this time. So I have a bunch of random notes that I've been keeping just like as I have ideas, but they're all over the place. I have some stuff in this book, I have some stuff in this book, I have some stuff in these books, I have a bunch of like piles of sticky notes of notes and ideas that I've had. And so what I'm gonna do now, I think, is go through and mark them all with like stickies with what topic they're on so that I can pull it all together into like one notebook. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I think I want to make something that's like I'll have my book that is specifically for the notes for the world, which is going to be this one. I'm using the same type of happy planner that I used for my Magic Forged project to sort of go through and have all the sections and start keeping notes in here. And then I'm going to have another notebook that is going to be mainly for sort of like a planner, but the planner part of it's going to be very, very small. It's mostly going to be keeping track of notes and the research I'm doing and like organizing it into doable chunks. Because one of the things that really helps me with this is actually making videos about it, which is sort of where my world building guide series came from. But that is besides the point right now. So I'm going to go through and try and get a little bit organized. Okay, so now that I have that and I have my cute little cheat sheet, I think I need to go through all the ones that are for planning, which is this like blue color. And I just need to go through all of that, pull it together, all the videos, all the things I want to do. Because it's like, at this stage, there's so many different things to do and it's hard to figure out what to work on first and what's best to work on first. So I think I'm going to, on my big whiteboard, just make lists of like all the things I want to do, all the videos I want to make, and then start figuring out like which ones kind of need to be done at the same time or before each other, that sort of a thing. Because again, I like to make videos on this kind of stuff as I go because it encourages me to like, I don't know, do it in a way that works better for my brain instead of just going crazy and then having no memory whatsoever of what I did or how I did it. Yes, so we're going to work on that. Okay, so I've gone through and I've put everything on the board that I think I need to do, and sort of the basic, like linking things together. So like, I don't know if you can see this at all, but I have like this little cluster, this cluster, and then a bunch of little clusters that are dependent on these being done, and then some side stuff. So what I need to do now is just take some of these notes and put them on paper and then kind of figure out the high level ordering, right? Like the things that can be done separately, and then rewrite it up with that plan. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but I finished up with my sort of plan and process for everything. And it's kind of a lot. So the other thing that I'm trying to figure out right now is what order I actually want to do everything in, because there's a lot of different ways I could do it, like a lot of ways everything kind of links together. There's like 30 things on here I could probably start right now, but this part in the process for me is very overwhelming because there's so many options and it's hard to feel like I kind of need to transition from the just whatever I'm thinking about, I just start taking notes on, and I actually need to start having specific goals and being like, I'm going to do this right now until it is done. I'm going to do this right now until it is done. I think to an extent, I definitely need to do these in little like batches, just to be a little bit more focused with it. Like it doesn't need to be one single thing at a time. I have these little cluster type dudes where, oh God, like you can see this is the center of a cluster, and all of these can sort of be done at the same time. And you sort of need to finish all of them before you move on. And then there's some like side dependencies and stuff like that. But like, oh, okay, sorry. Like I feel like I could work on some of those together, right? Because that's all a bunch of things that fit together, like batches. Like I think I need to batch this, as odd as that is. So I think I might try to do that. Because I don't want to do like weekly goals, like we're going to do this week, we're going to do this week, because that gets a little bit too for me. I might try to group them in batches that could take a week, and then I can sort of aim for that, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I definitely need to be more organized because I am all over the freaking place right now. Like you can see from like all the crazy different notes I have here, like I have stuff for all types of videos of outlining my actual story, like different world building stuff. Like it's all over the place and I can't do anything with it right now because none of it's done. So I think the first things that I kind of need to do, like I have some stuff that I need to wrap up still. I need to wrap up my last drafting challenge vlog. I have to do this video for a collab project, and then I have like, you know, I have one video that I think I could make based off my last project that I kind of need to do before it takes too long, you know? Like I should probably take notes on that soonish and then I could film the video whenever, but I need to take the notes on it soon. And then, you know, the typical 2023 wrap up, 2024 plans, if I'm going to do like a Q1 plan. I ordered a bunch of, what are they called? Like bullet journal stuff, that sort of supplies. So when I set up that book, I might incorporate some of that in it, but I haven't decided how in depth I want to go. When I started doing like my version of the HB90 stuff, I went very organized, and that worked really well for like the first quarter, pretty well for the second quarter, and then the third and fourth quarters, I've just like not been doing it too much. Like this past quarter, I've barely even opened that planner. But I think the thing that did work for me was creating that like 8-week to finish my novel plan. And like planning it out in that book helped me figure out what I could do when. I don't know. So I might lean more towards like having trackers and doing something like this where I can sort of track myself down the tree, right? And make myself like maybe a little tracker where I have all these things on it and I can put stickers on it and kind of show my progress as I go. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm going to take some time now and try and batch this up and figure out what my priorities are to get started. Okay, so I think I have a plan for this now. I basically broke down, and I think you can sort of see that right here. But I basically broke down into little like block tracks, kind of sections of work that I want to do. So the first one is just like miscellaneous videos I need to do that aren't related to my next project or world building or anything like that. And then I have each one of these is like a little track that I have to do in order. And then like some of these I could switch the order a little bit, but for the most part, this is sort of filtering in, like alternating between different types of things. So like this one is world building, this one is cultural world building, but this one's character, magic world building. This is like outlining, plotting, research, more kind of societal, cultural world building, character world building, like physical and regional world building, and like architecture, maps, and then this one is like getting prepared to actually outline. So I have these all broken down into the different things, and I might go through and like coordinate, color coordinate them real quick. But I have notes here for how I want to organize my planner, I think. So I think I actually have 3 things that I'm getting that I ordered that I should get like today or another day. A small pocket like weekly planner, so it's like little, like that big, and my hope for that is to be able to keep it in my purse / bring it out here and have on one side like my plans and not my work plans, because I have a very detailed work planner that I use that I actually consistently use every day because I have to. But something where I could keep track of like things that I can then take back and forth, right? So that while I'm at work, I can be like, oh crap, you know, what do I need to do tonight? Or what am I doing this weekend? Kind of thing. And I can look at that. And also to keep track of any ideas I have while I'm out and about and stuff, to just jot as like a note page. Because that's something I do a lot. I tend to just write a lot of notes on sticky notes and then have to bring them home, and then it's not very organized. But I think I could do that. So that'll fulfill my like actual schedule spreads requirement, I think, maybe. So I have that as an idea that I'm going to try to set up. And then I have 2 bullet journals. One in general, like I'm starting to go through a lot of my bullet journals because I haven't bought any in a while, and I don't know, it'd be good to have a fresh one. But then also I got like an official like lectern or whatever it is bullet journal, and I don't know if I'm going to love it, but I'm going to check it out and play with it, and I'm either going to use that or the plain bullet journal I got to use as my new like planner, which I'll get into in a second, but one of them I'll use for that and the other one will just be for general notes. But I want to have at least 2 sections, maybe 3 or 4 sections. The first one is like planning, and I want to have like an area in it for project planning with some extra pages. I'm going to put little tabs along the top, and this would be like for each of these I'll kind of plan it out with all the little notes for it, so that while I'm on that section I can just reference that and I can have that bookmarked and be like, this is the track I'm working on right now, right? This is what I'm doing. And then I can have a research section for all of the top kind of topics I'm working on. So like cultural world building, regional world building, martial world building, story structure, character, etc., etc., etc. And I can have sections in there to put notes as I'm doing research, things that I haven't organized for a like guide perspective. But these are things that I have just notes all over the place, so I can move these notes there, like the ones that I think are useful, and then maybe like mark them once I migrate them into an actual guide, so I know that I don't need to keep pulling that information. So I'll have that section, because sometimes I just like researching stuff, or I'll find a cool book and I'm like, oh, I want to save these notes, but if I put them in a random place, like, you know, so I just want a home for all my little chunks of miscellaneous research that I'm not doing like as part of organizing a guide, right? Like this is high-level cultural world building, not like each of the individual sections I have planned, where I'm going to have like, you know what I'm saying? And then I want a generic note section probably, unless that's satisfied by my weekly planner, which I don't know yet. We're going to have to see if that's sufficient. And then I don't know. I might have like a scheduling section where I plan out quarters and stuff like that and goals. Not something to like go back and reference a lot, but just to kind of figure out what I want to do when and in what order. I'm not entirely sure, but I want to have a lot of tabs and like divider type things in this so that I can flip around. And I'm hoping this will be super useful, so I'm not using like random bits of random notebooks. But we'll see. But for right now, I think I need to go downstairs, check out what's going on. I have some like Christmas packages that I need to organize and hide away, and then I need to make my plan for what I want to do with the rest of the day, because it's about noon, which means we're going to be having lunch soon, and then I should have the kids' nap time to maybe do some like filming, editing, I think is what I'm going to want to do. Yeah. Okay. Later. Hopefully this ends up looking okay. I got the bullet journal in the mail, and I like it a lot. It's got this little like guide thing in the front, which is really cute. I don't know how much I'll actually use it, but the fun thing is all the pages have half and third markings on the top and the bottom, which may or may not end up being helpful. I'm not sure. But What I ended up doing is, you can see this. Let's see. I have all the sections along here: project planning, video planning, scheduling, notes, and research. And then in the research section, which some of these are rubbing off a little bit on this side, so I need to rewrite them, but I have all the different like research sections that I want to keep. And then the main thing I was working on today is the project planning. So I copied down the whole plan from my whiteboard. So I have all the, like, blue is just like things I need to do. That's like my personal process. Green, which up there was purple, is all the videos I want to make. And then red is like note type things. So they're not specific to, you know, preparing for my next project, but there's a lot of stuff on here that I could probably skip or make significantly less, like, involved if I don't want to make a video on it. But I kind of have it all out here right now, and I think this outlining process for me is going to be a lot of focus in learning and figuring out these out. And, like, that's why I'm doing all these, like, cheat sheet type things, because I really want to kind of be organizing the information I'm learning in the way that I think will be most helpful for me, and then using it, and then I can keep iterating as I learn on these cheat sheets. But these are the 9 groups that I divided this into in terms of like little tracks that I can do. And I just gave them a little name based off sort of the themes, so like world map and themes, world cultures, character prep, magic, structure, society, characters and dialogue, mapping, and outline. And then what I did is each one, I have just that section of what the steps are on it. So like this one I'm going to do, I need to finish the world building guide for rivers and biomes, which means that I can finish the world map using biomes. I can do the themes and conflict research and the themes and conflict, and then I can build up a video that I've already started on what kind of society I want based off my themes, and then the physical world video kind of tying that all in. I'm not going to show the whole process like I do in my guides, but it's going to be like a few like B-roll type time lapses, and then like I'm going to show you the maps at the end. It'll be that sort of thing. But I went through and did this for all of them, so I have all the world cultures, character prep, magic, I went a page too far, structure, which is mostly research, society, characters and dialogue, mapping, etc. And then I just have video planning, where I just have some notes where I can sort of plan out like scripts and stuff. A scheduling section, which I haven't done anything with yet, but that's like might be where I do like annual planning, quarterly planning. If I do HB90, I'll plan it there. A note section, and then all the research stuff. And all this is just empty right now, but it all has little placeholder things so I know where it goes, and I think this will help. The only thing I didn't think about is now I can't put this on it. So, not sure what I'll do about that. I might end up cutting this off. I might end up moving these. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll see how this works out for me. Okay, I wanted to do a quick update. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and just to warn you, I'm drinking like this coffee thing my husband made me, and I'm a little bit wired right now, so just be prepared for that. But it's been a crazy few weeks. I had not realized that my refill of my migraine medication had like ran out of refills. So I ran out, and then I couldn't get more, and it was a weekend, and it was a whole thing, and I was only without that medication for like 2 days, I think. But I don't know if you remember my whole like migraine diagnosis stuff, because I had talked about that a bit for a while, where they actually thought I had MS because of the way my migraines appear. So I started having some serious problems, and that kind of messed me up for the whole week, like just having like numbness on the right side of my body, like muscle pain, nerve pain, like it was just a kind of a mess. So I didn't get a ton done. Like I still got stuff done, but I wasn't like in a filming mood, you know? And then this past weekend, we were actually rear-ended. So we were in a car accident on the highway, like with my kids and my family, and like we're all fine. I'm the only one who seems to have any like adverse effect to it, probably because I was actually like driving and I'd been braking, so I was like tensed and it was like a whole thing. So like I'm still kind of sore. My neck hurts, like, but I'm not injured. It's just the kind of thing that like I could stand up weird and be sore for a week, you know? So like getting rear-ended, like my body is very sensitive to that sort of a thing. It just doesn't do well with anything not being perfectly good and in alignment. So it's been another week and now we're in that crazy rush to get ready for Christmas where it's Friday, Monday is Christmas. Have I wrapped anything? Barely. I wrapped a few things last night and that's literally it. So that's going to be intense. We're way behind on laundry. We're way behind on cleaning the house because we were out of town and then we were in the car accident. We've been dealing with that. We only have one car right now, so it's been a process. But I wanted to give you a couple of updates. First, and I'll like do a top-down thing in a minute, but I got this little, what is this, like a Hobonichi Techno Mega Weeks thing for next year. And I love these things because they have like December in it. So I got to start using this throughout the month and I've been kind of trying it out and it's been working for me really well. I went in and I've just kind of been putting my monthly stuff in here and I've been using it as like, this is what I'm taking back and forth. This is what I'm using to kind of check off what I'm doing each day and plan out each day what I'm doing. And I'm really bad at looking at this from the perspective of like doing to-do lists and actually looking at it every day, but it's been working for me with planning what I'm gonna do. And it's not like perfect. Like you can see, I don't know if you can actually see this, but this was last week. So you can see that I sort of scratched a bunch of stuff off and I had to retry a couple of times just because I would think I was going to do a certain stage in a process and not others and stuff like that. So then this week I'm trying switching out the little stickers I used to have in my old planner where these are removable stickers. So if I need to move them around days, I can do that. So I'm trying that out moving forward. And I've just been sort of using this to be like, okay, these are what I'm doing these days and kind of planning it out like that in something small that I can carry around. And the other super helpful thing about this is it has little notes in it. So, I don't know, I mean, this is just like random stuff, but like, there's like a whole notes section in the back that's like literally all of this is just notes. So it's like a little handheld notebook thing. So I've been taking notes for like the reading journal I want to start. Like I have a bunch of books I was looking into and conferences I was looking into that I was just taking notes on. I was planning out the last couple weeks of my December, like just little stuff like that that I'll want to reference at some point that normally I would put on like sticky notes and the sticky notes would get lost. So this has been working out for me pretty well for what I want to use it on. And then this has been working out pretty well too. I'm definitely learning a little bit about the ways I want to use it, but I did end up taking out the bookmarks. I took out the little like strap thing. I just cut it off. Because having all these tabs really works, but this has just been working really well for me. I do think that like for these pages, I really did not need this much space because I gave myself like that much space to plan this and I haven't used it. But I think for some of the other ones that are a little bit more detailed, I might want to break it down into smaller steps and this would be like the space I need it for. But I still think I probably only needed like one spread each. And then I've been using the video planning section. That's been going really well. Like I just have like little video plans in here and I can easily reference them. I need to film some of these actually, but that's been working really well. The scheduling section's been kind of fun. Like I'm mostly just using it for like planning out what I'm gonna do. I don't know how well you can see this. But yeah, so I've just been kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do when, what order I want to do things in, so that when I make like my monthly plan, I have a little bit more details in that. I have like a notes section, which I've barely used, mostly because I have space in here and this is much more convenient. But then the research section has been going really, really well. So like I've started just like taking notes in here and I just have like page after page after, and I'm skipping pages, but like I have been using this like crazy. And so these are all my like cultural notes, and then I have a regional section, a Marshall section, structural outlining. I haven't used a lot of these other sections yet just because I haven't had this very long, but I think this is going to work really, really well for me. I really, really like having places to plan things out and then easily reference it and then have the research sections. So that's been going really, really well for me. And in terms of my like crazy spiderweb planning thing, I have my group 1 of doing the world map and themes has been chugging along. I finished the rivers video, that's already live on my channel. I'm almost done the biomes video. I literally need to film it probably like today. And then I need to finish drawing my world map, and I'm hoping I can put like a little clip of my video in there. But like that's the big time commitment of this. Like I still need to do some theme research and all that. But in general, like this process, and I've only been doing it for a few weeks, but it's been going really, really well for me, and I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited for all my steps. You'll see more in my like 2023 recap 2024 goals video, but I'm really spending a lot of time in this next, like getting ready for this next project, planning, outlining this next project in fundamental skills, fundamental knowledge, building up these cheat sheets, building up this information. Because like I could get all this done way faster if I wasn't trying to like take a step back and really learn about all these things, right? Like I'm gonna spend days just researching theme and how I want to plan that out and like how I want to structure all that before I even start thinking about it for my project. And like the same thing with biomes. Like, do I need to spend like 3 weeks making a complicated biomes world building guide in order to just like draw my world map, given that my story is going to be like in one small region? No, I do not. But I'm trying to be really intentional about like all of that stuff, and I need to have all that prepped in order to be super intentional about the cultural stuff that I want to do in building the cultures and societies. And I just really think all of this stuff is going to be very, very beneficial from a long term. So like I am taking the time to invest in myself and my skills and my knowledge and just really trying to grow and learn as much as I can. And I think that's very important. So yeah, I think that's kind of, I guess I'm not doing a top-down look at this, but yeah, I think this is gonna work really well. I'm excited. I have like 7 or 8 months of like stuff to do planned. Like it's kind of crazy, but I'm excited to get to do all of this, and I'm really excited about where I'm gonna be after I've done all of this, and I'm getting more and more excited about this project every day. Like I cannot wait until I get to the part where I'm like really diving into like the magic system and stuff, because it's gonna be so much fun. But I'm also really excited about just like every stage of this process, honestly. Like every stage of it I am very excited about, and I'm just excited. I'm very excited, which I'm sure you can tell I said it like 87 times, but yes. If you have any thoughts or ideas or like questions or anything, comment down below, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see you in the next one.